Gents, welcome to the Get Shredded, Become Energetic and Be Excited for Life Again presentation. And this is for high performing dads over 40 that have been held back by the weight and the low energy. And yes, that is me on a recent holiday to Ibiza with my lovely wife, Alex. And this is also me wearing spectacles in the gym, which was very, very rare. And if you don't know me, for those that don't, some of you will, but for those that don't, my name's Gab Gillibrand. I run a coaching business, manage a team, got 3 kids, 21, 8 and 5, married to Alex, of course, 31 years experience in the health and fitness industry. And that is my current shape, best shape of my life at 51, as I record this. I'm 3 weeks away from being 52. And I've worked with over 750 similar men to you to get them in the best shape of their life. So there's my credentials. And this is really what being in shape or working on my health, getting in an elite shape has done for me, really. Resting heart rate is beautifully normal. Relationship with wife is stronger than ever. 7 to 8 hours of blissful sleep most nights. The energy of a 17-year-old, that's an exaggeration. Not going to lie. 30-year-old, I'm nearly 52, not going to be like I'm 17 years old. However, whatever routine or, nutrition or training plan you've got dialed in, you're never going to be 17, I'm afraid. But let's get that out of the way. But definitely feeling good. Big thing is focusing on setting a health example for my kids and being around to see the grandkids. Successful business, financial abundance, and I've got the health nature intended me to have. There's no need to not be in the best shape you possibly can be. It improves every area of your life, and I'm going to show you how we do it. And look, this is from me, from one hard worker to another. Putting yourself first is the very best thing you can do. But you have to make it a priority. This is urgent. This is important. Health is your number one priority, or at least it should be. This is an urgent situation, guys. And the only way you're going to get in shape and feel good and have all the things that we talked about is if you treat it that way, if you treat it with the respect that it deserves. And it's all going to come down to your current level, or how well you tolerate your current situation. Okay. And I want you to flip that on your head. I want you to refuse to tolerate your current situation. If you're in a bad shape, bad position, you've got 20, 30 or more pounds to lose, you've got people that depend on you. You've got wife, partner, kids, extended family. They need you as a man, as a dad, in the best shape of your life, because when you look after your own health, everyone else gets taken care of as too. If you're too tired to work out, play with the kids, do activities, you end in the day completely drained, you come back and the first thing you do is crack open a beer, slump in a chair, and you're watching Netflix. What example are you setting to your kids, first of all? Maybe you're not proud of what you see in the mirror. You're snappy at the kids, you've got low energy, snapping at the missus, the partner. You're successful on paper, but working yourself into the ground. I don't care how much money you make, mate. I don't care how big your company is. I literally don't give a fuck about that, because real success is being able to look after the little guys. Okay, and having time to do this. And I can guarantee you this: when you're on your deathbed, they will not care about the money that you earn. They're going to have a conversation with someone one day. What was your dad like when you were younger? And they're going to tell that person in front of them what their dad was like. So think about that for a second. Now, the good news is, you're not broken, man. You are not broken. We can fix this to a certain extent. And it's not really about being broken. You just lack the system, the critical information. So first of all, I want to congratulate you for even showing up. Most people won't even watch this video. But you're here, my man, and we're going to make some changes. So well done. And here's the problem with most methods that you may have followed, you may currently be following. They often leave us more stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, overweight, and tired, because often they address the symptom, but they don't cure the disease. Okay, so we need to look at the problem from the root, not just using the Band-Aid or plaster to plaster over the cracks and the cuts. Here's what we do instead at the Fat Loss Code. Number one, this is the biggest thing. You need to audit your language, which will in turn will change your beliefs and ultimately change your identity. Okay, so what do I mean by that? Audit the language. Be very careful of the things that you say to yourself. Your subconscious is eavesdropping on your thoughts. Whatever you say to yourself, whether it's the truth or not, is ultimately going to affect the things you believe in, the actions you take, and ultimately is going to create the identity. And permanent weight loss comes from a change in identity. So we want to move away from saying, stop trying, I'm trying to lose weight. And, when you say the type of things like this, I have to go to the gym, don't drink the beer, don't sit on the couch, there's a negative connotation to those things. Okay. So we want to change what we say here and look at things from a different perspective. When you say it that way, you're focusing on what not to do. Okay. But instead of removing those bad habits, we want to replace them with good ones. We want to change the language. Is it going to equal a change in identity? I easily go to the gym and train. I'm a healthy person, not I'm trying to lose weight. It's a complete reframe of the things you say to yourself. I'll throw another example in. Every time you say to yourself, I can't lose weight, I've tried everything, nothing seems to work, you're reinforcing that this is the truth. And ultimately, the only thing stepping in the way of you achieving the best health and fitness results, whatever age you are, is the bullshit story you're telling yourself. So listen to this again. Let me tell you this again. Permanent weight loss comes from a change in identity. It will only come from a change in identity. Otherwise, you can white knuckle your way through 12 weeks, maybe even 6 months. But when the shit hits the fan, you're going to go back to your original default position, default setting. Okay, so the people who transform easily don't say they're on a diet. They've stepped into that new identity. They've changed their language, improved their beliefs. All right, there's number two. We're going to look at long-term habits over short-lived extremes. Okay, long-term habits over short-lived extremes. I say to all my new guys when they come to the coaching program, I don't give a fuck how much weight you lose in 12 weeks. I'm more concerned with what you can sustain over 12 months and effectively over 12 years. Because anyone can white knuckle their way through 12 weeks, crazy diet, hard training session 5 days a week. But we want to have a plan that can get you through all the seasons of life. And when I say seasons, I don't mean winter, spring, summer. I mean when the shit hits the fan, when you're on holiday, vacation, when people are sick, when they're ill. Okay, so long-term habits over short-lived extremes. And ultimately, getting in shape comes down to a couple of key habits, not changing everything. There's 100 things you could do towards your health and fitness, but it's going to come down to a couple of key things that are going to massively move the needle forward. Number one is getting quality sleep. If we look at everything, food, nutrition, training, and anything else you can do within your lifestyle, sleep, we absolutely want to regulate sleep. Okay, I've done a masterclass on how to get the best sleep. And getting a good night's sleep starts actually in the morning. The things you do in the morning will lead to what happens at night, and we need a ritual at both morning and night. But looking at sleep is a whole other masterclass in itself, but we absolutely need to look at sleep. We need to limit or reduce stress. We want to have 2 to 3 liters of water a day. The only way to lose body fat is by being in a calorie deficit, so that is an absolute must. Resistance training. I don't care if you want to get big muscles or you want to stay in shape or you want to live a long and healthy life. We have to be doing some type of resistance training with progressive overload, which means we need to be doing a little bit more than you did last week. Guys, get in that gym, lift some heavy weights off the ground 2 or 3 times a week. That's all we're looking at. And low intensity movement consistently. And that means simply going for a walk. I teach all of my guys to do between 5,000 and 10,000 steps per day. Simply get out for a walk. And why walking is the MVP combined with resistance training for fat loss and longevity and health, because it's low resistance, it's low intensity, which means you can do it every day. You're not going to burn out. The chances of injury are extremely low. You don't need any kit, equipment. You just get out. You need a little bit of time, headphones on, great for your mental health. You're breathing oxygenated blood is going to flow into the brain, makes you feel good. Simple walk is one of the game changers in fat loss, and it's very often overlooked. So it's going to come down to core key habits rather than significant change over everything. We want to set long-term goals because long-term goals will produce long-term results. It's as simple as that. Right, number 3, we need to change our physiology and change our state, as Tony Robbins. If any of you have been to see Tony Robbins live, you'll know what I mean by when I say you need to change our physiology. We can do extremely simple activities to, feel calmer, more present, be energized, and improve our mood. Really simple stuff. But that's what we need to do. Think about changing state is really improving the way that we feel in the moment to then change the result that we're going to get. So we can look at breathing exercises, getting our heart rate up, being present in activities with family, and getting outside in nature. And these simple things, simple activities are going to change your state, change the way you feel, and ultimately change the outcome you get in your life. Okay, and staying inside. Look, it's got worse as we've got coming to 2025 as I record this rather, November 2025. We are more connected than ever before with social media, and we have more information available, but we're less connected to our fellow human being. We stay far too long inside. Computer games, screens, scrolling, the doom scroll. And it's not normal for humans. Get outside, breathe some air, move your body, simple things. Okay. Look, I occasionally get the odd client saying, "Oh, it was raining. I didn't want to get outside for my steps." Look, even if it's snowing, get a coat on, pull your finger out, stop being a pussy, breathe that crisp air in. There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad choice of clothing. I don't know who told me that. I think it was my dad. He definitely didn't coin it. He heard it from his dad probably, but it's true. There's no such thing as bad weather. Just get outside, get the right clothing on, get out, man up, go for a walk. Simple as that. Here's a big one. Number 3, having a strong reason why. And the reason why having a strong reason why is so important, and why it needs to be emotional, and you need to feel passionate and strong and have some real feeling behind this, is because when you've got a strong reason why, when things get tough, and on any fat loss journey, there's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be times where you feel like you want to throw the towel in. When you've got a strong why, something that's bigger than just losing a few pounds on the scales, that's going to help pull you towards your goal. So you're going to get there faster, and the results are going to stick. They're going to be more consistent. They're going to be more long lasting. Okay. So having a strong why is really, really important. And look, just a whim. I'll give you an example. I had a call with 2 chaps a couple of weeks ago. And they both had a similar amount of weight to lose. They both wanted to lose about 25, 30 pounds. So just, about a stone and a half to 2 stone in English money. And one of the guys said that he wanted to be around to see his grandchildren. His wife didn't find him attractive, so his sex life was being affected. His lower back, it was in pieces every day. He was waking up in pain. He was sleeping like shit. So he had something that was worth working towards. So I want to lose this weight to change all those and feel better in my life. The other guy, same amount of weight to lose, but it was like, yeah, if I lose it, it'd be great. It would be awesome. If I don't, yeah, whatever. I'm kind of happy where I am. You see who's what I would call comfortably uncomfortable. Okay. Comfortably uncomfortable, terrible place to be in. Guess what? Guess who joined the program? The guy with the strong why. So you have to focus on having a strong why. Otherwise, it's never going to work. And when things get tough, you're always going to fall off because you're not working towards something that means something to you. 95% of health transformation is psychological. Think about this. The mechanics of losing body fat is 5%. The 5% is, in my opinion, it just happens to be right. 5% is calorie deficit, because without that, nothing works. Increase your protein, track your calories, walk, and lift weights. Those 4 things are ultimately going to move you forward to where you want to go. 5% mechanics, 95% psychology, or the mindset, psychological. Things like self-limiting beliefs, self-sabotage, resilience, what to do when you fall off, how do you get back on? Comparison is the thief of joy. All this, the mental side is a real head fuck for a lot of people. Okay, so Focus on that why. That strong why has to be in place. Simon Sinek, however you pronounce it, had the book with It Starts With Why. Absolutely need to focus on that. Why do you actually want to lose the weight? Because it's not 30 pounds on the scales. It's the thing that 30 pounds will give you once you've achieved that. Remember why you started, and remember what happens if you don't stick to it. So look at why you want to achieve it. Remember why you started, but also look at the consequences. What are the consequences of me not getting to where I want to go? What's going to happen if I stay fat and unhealthy and overweight and feeling like shit? What's going to happen to my relationship with my wife? What's going to happen to, am I going to be around to see the grandchildren? It's important stuff like that. Okay, this is the negative side. Look, do you want this? No one wants this. No one signs up for this. Feeling drained every day. A strain on my relationship with my wife. Divorce, potentially. Health issues, long-term longevity, not seeing the grandkids grow old, missed experiences with the kids. Look, the list goes on. And all of you watching this are going to have a different reason why. And, if we look at the reasons why you want to achieve what you want, it's all going to be different. So whatever your reasons are, bring them to top of mind, focus on them, write them down. I get my clients in the very first week to write down their reason why, but 10 things that they will have, be, or become when they hit their weight loss goal. And then it's not a case of if they hit their weight loss goal. It's simply a case of when, which means we never change the goal. We just change the time it takes to get there. I will weigh 40 pounds less on the 1st of December 2026. We work towards that goal. We don't stop working on the basics until we hit that goal. Here's what I don't want you to focus on. Do not focus on these ineffective methods. Number one, starving and some bullshit diet. If a diet's got a name, be very, very careful. If it's got a name, like the carnivore diet, keto, South Beach, is bullshit. It's telling you to eat a certain way. It can tell you to eliminate foods. We do not need that. Number two, don't focus on challenges or boot camps. They're short-lived. Remember, we're looking over long-term habits. Long-term habits will create long-term results, not short-lived bullshit. Motivation and willpower, you don't need it. You need discipline and habits, very, very different. Motivation gets you to the starting line. Discipline gets you to the finish line. Willpower, it burns out. What you can do when you're tired, when you're unmotivated. You're not going to go to the gym, you're not going to eat healthy food because you don't feel motivated. Fuck that. Focus on habits and discipline. And number five, do it on your own. You don't need to do this on your own. Don't need to do this on your own. And stop listening to online PTs or influencers. Hopefully I don't fall into that category. I'm definitely not an online PT, and I'm not quite an influencer. I fucking hate that phrase anyway. Influencer. If you're an influencer, just influence people. Don't call yourself an influencer. However successful I become in my business, you will never, ever hear me take on the moniker, I'm an influencer. And if you do, I want you to shoot me in the head. It's fucking bullshit. If you focus on them, you're going to be running full force in the wrong direction. You can work really hard doing the wrong things. And guess what's going to happen? Not much. I'm working hard, nothing seems to be working. Well, what are you working on? Well, you're working on 5 things that are never going to work. That's why you go nowhere. Instead, I want you to focus on these. Number one, get some coaching. Look, information is 10 a penny. You can get everything, how to become a millionaire, how to get a 6-pack, how to build a business. Everywhere's information's free. You're not short of information. But what you are short of is implementation. And coaching will give you that implementation. And quality coaching can time collapse 10 years of heartache into 6 months of success. Okay, so you need coaching, you need accountability, you need someone telling you that was shit or that was good, and I want you to work on this and avoid that. You need community, so you need to be around like-minded people on the same journey with the same obstacles. The same things in life happen to most people, here or there or less, here or there. Some have got more problems in this area. Some have got more obstacles in that area, but we're all in the same boat, all trying to do the same thing. But community, these guys on the same journey as you will lift your standards to a higher level. Okay, and it's got to be fun. The whole journey has to be fun. If it's not fun, guess what? You're going to quit. Okay. Now, I say ease and fun. Nothing's going to be easy. Anything that's worthwhile is never going to be easy. Otherwise, everyone would have a six pack. But it can be quite simple. Let's rephrase that. And it can absolutely be fun. If it's not fun, you're going to quit. Okay. And you have to have some skin in the game, which means you need to invest in yourself. Okay. You need to invest in yourself. You need some skin in the game. So, a quick recap of what we said. Look, MJ had a coach and accountability. The best basketball player in the world. I mean, a few people think it might be Kobe or LeBron James, but we're going old school, 90s. MJ had a coach. The best athletes in the world have a coach. Whatever your preferred sport, every single elite athlete has got a coach. They've got the natural talent, the ability, the skill, and it's nurtured. And the best is brought out of them by having a coach. Okay, be around people you want to be like. You've heard it before. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. From an old philosopher in the 80s, the 90s, guy called Jim Rohn, who actually coached Tony Robbins, and I know you've heard of him, the powerhouse, the man monster, Tony Robbins. Choose wisely. You hang around fat people that go to the pub all the time. Guess what? You're going to be that 6th person. I'm not saying ditch all your fat friends. I'm not saying that. I'm saying be very wary of the people you hang around with most of the time, because their habits, their actions, the things they do, the things they eat, the things they drink, the travel, the things they talk about, you're going to become them. Birds of a feather flock together. Okay? You want to hang around people that have what you want and who you want to be like. Absolutely true. And look, and making this easy and fun is better than difficult and boring. Difficult and boring is not fun. Easy and fun is fun. Okay, there's no need to make this hard. Losing body fat, getting in shape, believe it or not, it's actually very, very simple when you know how, when you have the method, when you've got the system to follow. It's like following a map. Very, very simple, and it becomes fun. When you invest in yourself, you pay attention. And this takes me back to what I said before about having some skin in the game. You absolutely need to have some skin in the game, but you need to invest wisely. Don't just spend money with anyone. Look at their track record, look at their testimonials. Does this guy, does he know what he's talking about? Has he got proven testimonials of people that have done what I want to do? Okay, but when you invest in yourself, you pay attention. Look, hopefully you've got to the end of this video, and you're a smart chap. I know you are. If you're watching this slide now, you've got to the end of the video. Everything in this video has made sense. But it's one thing to know it, but it's actually another thing to do something about it. So do it. As I said before, information is 10 a penny. All the information is free right now on the search engines. Most people won't implement it. Okay, so the longer you wait, the harder it gets to change. So please take action now, whether it's me or with someone. Commit to making these changes for your health, for your life, because your life depends on it. It literally depends on it. Okay. Now we're at this crossroads here, and there's a couple of paths you can take. You could go left or right. You can take the blue pill or the red pill. Let's call it that way. A couple of paths you can take. Now you can turn this off right now. Hope it helps. Look at the information. Keep doing what you're doing. But if you haven't done something about this now, it's unlikely that this presentation is going to make you do something with the information. So you could do that, but it's unlikely you're going to make some changes. So that's one path. The second path, below this video, head to the description, fill out a 2-minute questionnaire. I know you're a busy man, but it'll take you 2 minutes, and then book a 15-minute call with me. And I promise you this, my friend, on that call, I won't sell you a single thing. So put your credit card away. There's nothing to buy on that call. Okay, we're literally going to talk about where you are, where you want to go, what your struggles are, what your obstacles are, and I will give you a plan and some action and some value and more than tips that you can actually put into place and run with it and start the ball rolling in the right direction. Okay, share your struggles with me and I'll share how I might be able to help you.